Welcome back, everyone, to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018 edition. We've got for you now another matchup from the singles division here. We've got an 0-1 matchup between Cutieroo and SeaAverage coming up for you. My name is Vol'jin. I'm here this morning / afternoon / evening if you're in Europe / I don't know, the middle of the night in Australia with my friend Sigma. Sigma, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm all energetic and ready to go because we were able to dodge casting the match that was 2 hours earlier than this. We got to sleep a little bit. Feels good.
Well, we've got this match between Rue and SeaAverage, and be very interested to see how this goes. This is a match between two of our kind of newer / less experienced players to Randomizer. Rue in particular, last week, I know that she took a loss to Roos. The Roos is Loose, also known as. And, it was a pretty good match in which she actually had a commanding position, the opportunity to win that race. So unfortunately, just ran into a situation in the final escape with no bash and no stomp, where it's just very, very difficult to complete that final escape. And so unfortunately, Roos able to catch up during that time. So I'll be interested to see, this week, maybe if they end up in that type of situation, what type of stuff Rue has practiced, and what can you tell me about SeaAverage's race, Sigma?
Yeah, kind of in a similar vein, SeaAverage also got bodied, I guess you could say, by the Randomizer in his first race. That was against the Flying Marlin. Both of them suffered a lot in that race. There was visits to Forlorn, there was exploring here and there and everywhere, and I think it was about an hour into the race where the Flying Marlin managed to pick up double jump in the Spider Sack or Energy Door, which was uniquely gating access to charge jump in Ginso Tree, and bash gated by charge jump hanging out by the Stomp Tree. So that race was pretty crazy. It was a lot of searching and just going back for that one pickup that you pass by early on and you don't have the energy to open, and then you just have to run it later. But we will be getting underway soon. We'll see. Maybe SeaAverage is gonna make a special note of that pickup, or maybe
he will beeline to that door.
I think the other good thing to note about that one as we get underway is the dash ramps in the Ginso Tree could have broken him out of that seed. So whether or not he's practiced those, we'll see. It's not the most fun strat, so most people don't go for it. But we're underway, and we're gonna hop off to the left and see how this seed is gonna start us out.
We'll get started with a nice Keystone pickup, pretty typical start. So most likely we will be heading into the left side of Glades, although of course it might just be a change up might show up and we might get wall jump, charge jump, and double jump as our next 3 pickups, but that doesn't seem that likely.
I'm a huge fan of the single keystone, baiting you into thinking that there's just going to be a second one and you'll go through the door, but you don't get it, and then the last pickup is wall jump. You try to jump down and open the door, but you can't, and things are getting a little more interesting here. We've got clean water hanging out on your side.
A little bit of a spicy moment here. We see that we're going to be able to take a swim. There won't be any fake flippers this time around. We're going to likely see both runners, after they collect those other 2 keystones, take a dip in the water, swim on down to the long flippers pickup, as we call it. That'll give them 2 more pickups in their pool for what we could be seeing as our first progression. So pretty good chance of having access to both left glades and Blackroot Burrows at this point.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see what we get. I'm expecting another keystone in the water here. Now that there's so many pickups, it seems unlikely that they wouldn't do that, but we'll see. This second or third pickup of the game is a keystone, so no mystery anymore. They'll be able to go to the left side, but we'll almost certainly see both runners swim down, grab the 2 pickups underwater first before they head over there.
You're seeing SeaAverage be a little bit more aggressive about picking up some experience points. So he was kind of preparing for the possibility that he would have to go into Blackroot Burrows, and meanwhile we see double jump from the fake flippers pickup and yet another keystone down there. So double jump, a really nice steal to start off, although it's not going to help too much with interacting with those walls, most likely for these runners.
Yeah, we also did see the second keystone of the game be the Grove teleporter, so they have that access as well. They won't be really using it. They might not even use it at all this seed. We'll have to see, because they do have good access with double jump through glades right now. Just experience their Cutieroo at the vanilla 4th health cell, but that's pretty timely because she was down to 1 health, so that level up makes moving through left glades a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I think she got munched on a little bit by the fish underwater, which those things are pretty rude. But she managed to make it through. SeaAverage is now falling right behind in her footsteps, and he actually he was having a bit of a moment earlier trying to rekindle his save, but unfortunately it's not quite time for rekindle yet. He hasn't been able to acquire that ability, and you see a couple level ups coming here for both C and for Rue, and being able to take advantage of those level up explosions and just get a couple enemies out of your way is pretty nice.
Yeah. Rue was down to 1 health again, but got a health drop on that slime. It's useful to have 2 health for this section because normally you can damage boost on the spikes, although I believe with double jump you might just be able to make it up, although now down to 1 health again. Might have to push this rock coming up here.
Yeah, we'll see. None of that's really in logic with double jump only, so she is actually going to turn around and not bother with that just yet. Okay, she wants to even rekindle her save first, and then she is going to go down to wall jump tree and SeaAverage for his part. He's going to pull the rock, so both of them kind of. Oh boy, it was a good thing she rekindled that save, huh?
Yeah, that would have been a huge death without that. Oh my gosh, that slime.
Well, C is actually going to attempt to scale this wall using the double jump wall climbing, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, and so he quickly turns around and says, okay, never mind, I'm just kidding. Which is, I think, a pretty reasonable decision at this point. It's difficult to do double jump wall climbing and not in logic, so it's kind of the two for the worst of both worlds.
Yeah. Now, I think he might give it another try on this wall left of wall jump, because coming all the way back down here for this energy cell later is quite a large time investment, and even if, doing switch side double jump wall climbing doesn't work out for you, just doing it on one wall might be a little easier, but we see Rue's opting to skip it. I'd be interested to see what C's does. He's going to go for it, so he has to mash towards and away from the wall repeatedly to refresh his double jump. He almost made it up there on that one. Just got to get a few more inputs. It's just so easy to drop it and start falling back down. And
Yeah, I think he keeps dropping at the end because he's kind of hoping like, oh, I'm right there. I should be good. No, not quite. Okay, he's gonna give up on it. I kind of wanted to find out what was there, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'll get over it eventually. See, it's fine.
can live with that. So Rue went and opened the Spirit Cavern's door. Isn't going to go in yet. Is going to turn in this map stone to the first map stone they have available, and just a keystone there. So since that double jump wall climbing trick is really all that they can do in this area right now, what's indicated is that the Grove teleporter, taking them over to the charge flame tree, is actually going to offer some kind of progression, hopefully in the form of wall jump. But have we ever known the randomizer to be that nice?
I don't think that this version of the randomizer has a nice setting. So C's doing the same play. He's heading to turn in that map stone. He will get the same keystone, and then we'll see whether or not he decides to do basically what Rue is doing, which is a little bit, it's like, well, I can theoretically do this, but then again, with double jump only, it can be kind of time consuming. So Rue is having to pull this block. Actually, you can make it up on this platform without the block, but it's a matter of comfort type of deal. And he actually seems like he might be trying to go into Spirit Caverns, which could potentially be a little bit disappointing very, very shortly.
Yeah. Now the good thing about Spirit Caverns is these walls are shorter. We saw C was able to get pretty good distance on that wall next to wall jump, so is able to get up the first one first try, the second one also first try. So he's able to handle this on these walls. Now, unfortunately, there's not a great chance that wall jump is in here. It seems likely that it'll be at the charge flame tree, but this is probably faster to just go through this area and open the door than to go back to the start and use the teleporter. But has some trouble with that wall. The shooter's giving him a bit of a hard time and is going to opt to bail out of that for now. Going to Altar, probably going to take the teleporter now, I would imagine. Cutie's going to try her hand at Spirit Caverns.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them forgot to some extent that they had the Grove teleporter. It's the early teleporters in particular, very, very easy to forget that you've collected them. And so it looks like Rue's still having that problem, but C, at least for his part, does seem to be making that play. Yeah, there it is.
Alright, and yeah, Rue having trouble with that same wall. I think any little abnormalities in walls that you normally get a little annoyed with when you're climbing them with wall jump or climb just get really amplified when you have double jump, because it's like you slip on the wall and then it doesn't actually give you your jump back and then you're sliding down, and She's almost managing to make it to that log, but is actually gonna make the same choice as C in the same spot. Can't get up that easily, and is now jumping back to the right, probably thinking of heading over to the teleporter. I don't think there's much else that she can do.
Well, speaking of choices, we do see SeaAverage on his side. He decided to set up a save and do a cutscene glitch to skip the Spirit Tree cutscene there. Now, that won't affect his ability to use it to teleport because he's already got the unlock. However, it might come into play later on in a minor annoyance where when you teleport to that Spirit Well and you have done that particular glitch, it might deactivate your Spirit Flame for a little bit, which is, mostly just an annoyance, but boy, it's annoying.
Yeah, you can't save on that Spirit Well, and as well with 1 energy, the only way to reactivate Sign is to save and reload the game, which then, since you have 1 energy, means you can't use a Charge Flame, which you might have to use. Alright, so we're going to find a vanilla Charge Flame on the Charge Flame tree, which is really convenient for C, because now you can just walk out to the right, which normally you'd be locked in this area and either have to do some trick in advance to get out of here, or come back, alt-R, teleport again. So C will be able to get some progression. There's a plant over here he can break. He can check 1 more pickup down below, and soon I would expect wall jump or climb to appear. Probably on the next pickup. This one is notorious for just being wall jump.
Perfect every time. Unfortunately for Rue, she's kind of hoping for that wall jump, but I think she has forgotten that Grove TP, and this is the tough thing. It's hard to be reminded that you have forgotten this particular kind of thing. Most randomizer players play with a tracker that kind of automatically keeps track of what they have acquired, and that is kind of the one main allowed tool to use while playing. But unfortunately, it does not tell you what teleporters you picked up, nor is there a place on it to track that. You kind of have to keep track of that yourself, and so as a result, if you're used to, oh, everything's just displayed for me, it can be very, very easy to just fall in that mental trap of, oh, all I have is double jump right now and clean water.
Yeah, now the good news for Rue is if she's able to get through Spirit Caverns here, she'll get led directly over towards Charge Flame. Looks like she's trying to set up a backflip jump to help get more height, but unfortunately on those kind of platforms, all that causes you to do is drop through them, so gotta just try to climb this wall. Just needs 1 more away towards kind of jump to make it up, but yeah, this kind of thing is not expected by the standard difficulty logic, and for good reason. As you can see here, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Speaking of not easy things to do, we did see SeaAverage skip out on the ability cell here in Spirit Caverns, and that is actually in logic with only double jump and wall jump. It's considered like a speedrunner level technique, and it looks like he is going back for it, mostly because he got nothing else in all the other keystones.
Yeah. This way C's trying it right now. You do have to go to the right wall to make this with only double jump, but is gonna bail out on it for now. C does have a fair amount of things that are open. Blackroot Burrows comes to mind as one. Also, taking this Charge Flame over through the Spider Sack area is another possibility. So there are a lot of pickups in logic. I don't think it's too likely that C will get burned by, missing that one, but to just keep it in mind. Now he's gonna head back to the wall jump area, make sure not to leave anything behind. Cutie did check the couple pickups above this area, which C's jumping to now, making clever use of double jump there as well to skip having to go around the left side, which is nice. So C will be able to get these. I think it was just keystones and stuff, and then progress on. And notably, Cutie has remembered about the Grove TP and will be getting that Charge Flame very soon.
Yeah, so she'll be finally be able to catch up, and C actually hasn't gotten too crazy of an advantage on her in the meantime, mostly because the seed has had a very obtuse kind of start, and it's definitely thrown both of them for a little bit of a loop. And that's really rough when you end up in a seed like this, because you're in the middle of a race, you're 0-1 already, you're in a tournament setting, and you get these seeds that just like challenge your brain right from the start to think like, what do I even have? What's supposed to be in logic? What's the intended thing? And that can really make it difficult to just keep your cool when it's 12 minutes in and all you've gotten is 3 skills and there's a small couple of locations.
Yeah, that's for sure, but both runners able to plug on through it, and I'll be very interested to see what Cutie decides after grabbing this Charge Flame and wall jump, she has both of them now. Could just stay here and go to the right. SeaAverage opted to come back to Glades and make sure not to leave, a bunch of pickups unchecked there, but see what Cutie opts to do. It's going to open this wall, go back to get more energy, probably get the plant, and then what will be next?
As she does that, we have SeaAverage going through Blackroot Burrows, taking a nip of those spikes, unfortunately, and resulting in a death, but he did save right before the spike pit, so he just has to cross it again. Rue looks like she's going to go out the bottom. That doesn't necessarily preclude the play you were describing. Meanwhile, Siege just going to be a little bit more careful this time and make sure that he does not take another spike hit. We're going to see what's in this XP, generally referred to as like the all skills XP here in Blackroot Burrows. It's a mega health, so that should make the rest of BRB a little bit nicer, but not quite that next bit of progression.
Yeah, the only thing you could really do with a mega health at this point being a temporary max health increase is you could go for a deep swim with poison water, but we don't have poison water. They found clean water very early in the seed, so it's kind of just safety. Not something bad to see. So Cutie's gonna clear through Spirit Caverns here, and I think the thing to keep your eyes on will be if she can do this jump up to the ability cell, going for it, just barely misses the wall here. This is definitely a precise jump. It's in the standard logic, as Bula mentioned earlier, because it's kind of a speedrunner trick. There's a very similar jump to this at one point in the all skills run, so it's just trying to set up for it. Just being a little bit too high on the wall, where you can actually jump off of this wall is a bit mystical, I suppose, and it's gonna just give it a couple tries and then say, no, let's find other pickups.
Yeah, this is that's pretty much the most common way that you see if people have trouble with that jump. Really, the key is that it's just a slightly lower spot on that right wall is where you want to be grabbing. And paradoxically, right, because you always think like, oh, I want to jump high on the wall because I need height here, but actually you don't really. You need the slightly lower position because there's a wall that you can kind of bounce off. It's a little bit obscured too by that background. So Rue's just constantly missing it, just slightly too high. And that's the most typical way to have problems with this. But there, she's got the wall now, so she should be able to get up to it, and it's just a health cell.
Yeah, that's nice to get, and nice that it won't be in the back of her mind now. SeaAverage is going to have to think about that pickup at least a little bit for the rest of the seed, but Cutie has got it, and is also dropping down to the wall jump area now. Now, remember she did get the kind of upper loop with the spinning spike area cleared already, but nobody has checked the energy cell left wall jump, and that's what she's going for now.
Oh, wow. I thought C would have actually detoured over here to get this on his way back down, but I guess he did not remember or chose not to, so we're finally going to find this out. And I mean, fortunately for C, missing one location has never bitten him, right? So it's never been a problem.
Yeah, it definitely didn't happen last week. It's a map stone.
Okay. I mean, there's a possibility that could be really bad, but fortunately for C, it's a small possibility. He does pick up a keystone from the ability cell in the middle of Blackroot Burrows after having completed the entire area. So he's going to ditch the keystone. It would be his fourth if he did collect it. And maybe he just says, I'm good on 3, I can always dupe or whatever, and I'm not keystone starved right now, especially because of that Grove TP.
Yeah, he's never going to open that Spirit Caverns door. 4 of the keystones that he's given by the randomizer will be, slated for that in case he wanted to. So, not going to be too worried about keystones. He's going to be checking out the boulder escape area in Blackroot now. Cutie's going to be starting Blackroot, so Cutie has a more thorough clear of left glades right now, but C has a bit of a lead, having, figured out that they had the Grove teleporter, and that was all that they could really do a little bit earlier. I mean, C is a bit ahead right now, but hasn't found anything groundbreaking so far, so definitely still waiting on that next progression. And there's a huge search area since Charge Flame opens up basically the entire right side of the map.
Yeah, and I think both runners are going to be hoping for some other access that they can use to get into kind of the more meaty sections. It'd be really nice, for example, if they had Stomp or Bash to be able to get right in here to the Gumo's hideout directly from Blackroot Burrows, but unfortunately lacking that, they're just going to have to find some other way to make that trek a little bit faster. Mega Energy showing up for C as he forces the Frankie to break a boulder, and we'll be seeing a check of that. He does not have a second mapstone to check his mapstone number 2 pickup, so all that he has available is, yeah, he goes up to the monument, he presses the X button, and that does nothing for him, unfortunately.
Oh, oh!
Perfect, dude.
Wow.
Not
So
checking that anytime soon.
I'd be interested to see what he does with this Mega Energy. He could just kind of play it as the Sea would intend to be played, because it never assumes that you use Mega Energies in clever ways. And actually, Sea just wants to rectify that mistake of returning to the start of the game right after picking up that mapstone. Is going to put it back into that map holder, so it's not nagging on his mind. So we'll see what that mapstone 2 is in a moment.
I think that's a smart play as far as just giving yourself peace of mind. It is only 69 experience, so while that could be nice for him, he is going to head on back out. And again, having that Mega Energy in hand, he could. It's a very common play to head over to the right and open that Death Gauntlet door. It is in logic to access the Death Gauntlet via going around the long way that you have mentioned several times. But it looks like he's going to head on up this way, possibly.
This could be a cleanup. You know, he hasn't picked up the ability cell in the Spirit Caverns, although he might not want to and is not heading in that direction. I was thinking this was a check back to the wall jump area, but actually we're just going up to Grove. Maybe now it's C's turn to forget that they had the teleporter, but this actually isn't that much slower, especially since he had to come down to pull this lever anyways. So we'll be able to walk around the top and find out what's in this area. Now, Cutie could opt to go from the Death Gauntlet side, which generally gets you to more pickups faster, but if something useful is on this side of things, then you'll have to clear all the way around that side, so you can't really say one or the other is better. C will just... Actually, now come to think of it, he could use this Mega Energy to open the 4 energy door in the Spider Sack, which is exactly the thing that burned him last race. So this could be all calculated for that.
I was literally thinking that exact thing as you were talking about, if there's something up here in the Spider Sack area. It's like, well, in his last race, there sure was. So I think he's probably hoping that, he'll get something useful along the way here. Rue picked up her Keystone from the ability cell in Blackroot, and then she alt-R'd, but she is going back in. Could be a teleporter play, but no, it looks like she wants to go back and do the Raziel No boulder roll area that C just did a little bit ago. And there it is with that Mega Energy. Oh, it's Dash Sigma.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That is such a huge play. Now, for Cutieroo, if she takes that Mega Energy the same way, she'll be able to do that as well. C did find a second energy cell somewhere along the way here, so if you're able to set up a level up on that spider, which is not an easy task in Randomizer because you keep getting these random experience values from pickups, then you can open the door that way with a timed level. But C's also going to grab the Swamp Teleporter here, which is going to save having to push a rock in and out of this area, so definitely huge for C to find that dash early. If Cutie does not go that way or not find dash for quite a while, this could be just a huge moment in the race for C.
Yeah, we'll be able to follow the progress of that as we go, but of course now there's lots more farming. Dash is definitely not putting him close to go mode. I did want to call back to SeaAverage. His third skill tree was Dash, which he picked up not too long ago in Blackroot Burrows, and that yielded the first clue of the seed. Again, clues mode, so we get a clue to the location of each dungeon key every third skill tree we collect, and in this case, it was a clue to the water vein. It is in Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, so that's a pretty spread out area, and some pickups in Valley of the Wind are locked by the grenade skill. That's a kind of notorious skill in the randomizer because there are some pickups you can only access with grenades, so finding it can be quite a trial sometimes. But there's a lot of other pickups that are not locked by that, and just as C leaves that spider sack area, instantly there's just this flood of energy cells that say, oh yeah, you could go back and open the door now, but if you don't open it the first time around, you really want to go back for that one door. That's exactly what burned him in the week 1 race that he did, and now he's probably laughing about that a little bit.
Rue, meanwhile, did opt to do the Raziel No area in its entirety and is collecting the map monument. We will get to see her map 2 check, which of course was just that 69 experience, but then she will also, from the Boulder XP, be able to collect a third mapstone. So a little bit ahead, actually, yeah, a third mapstone. So she'll be a little bit ahead in the map progression, and that could come into play, but doesn't necessarily always. It's kind of one of those wild card things where every seed, every once in a while a seed will come in with like charge jump is map 6 or something, and you just really, really wish you'd gotten all those map stones and checked them all.
Yep. SeaAverage doing a save and reload here. That's a technique we call save scumming, where you place a save before you go to a faraway pickup, and then reload to get back to it. And now I want to call attention to Cutieroo on the left. He is going to be making the play to the Death Gauntlet. Now, as we mentioned, this does get you to a lot more pickups a lot faster, but now we know, since C went the other way, that Dash is waiting in the Spider Sack area, which is now at the end of a huge loop of pickups for Cutieroo. The good thing for her is it's very likely she'll find 4 energy before getting there, but how long until she gets there? Now that's another matter.
Rue's gonna try to get this plant that's above in the Death Gauntlet roof, and unfortunately couldn't quite get it. You can actually get it with the skill she has available with the radius of explosion that Charge Flame has. You need to you need to double jump up onto the walls right below that breakable ceiling. But fortunately for Rue, it's not in logic, so it's not a big deal that she wasn't able to get to it. Although, I mean, it could be Bash or something, and then I guess technically it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the good thing about it is going through the Death Gauntlet from the start of the game is an extremely convenient thing to do. If there's any pickups along there that you can get, like if she picks up Charge Jump or something later, if she picks up Stomp later, then she can just do that at any time, and it's just as convenient as returning than teleporting.
Yeah, so C also ended up in Death Gauntlet basically at the same time, so they gave each other a little bit of a high five, but Rue's actually going to head upwards, and C is continuing to head downwards. And he did take a quick death getting tenderized a little by one of the Crushers, but fortunately he had just saved at the teleporter, so not a huge deal. We're going to get to see what is in this breakable floor here in Death Gauntlet, and C is going to take a swim down. It's an ability cell.
All right. So Cutie has put in Mapstone 3, just gets an ability cell out of it, and is now checking some of the Grove pickups that C has already checked. What's going to be significant here for her is if she goes up towards the Swamp Teleporter and maybe does the loop around Ginso, if she continues left towards the Spider Sack area. Spider Sack area would be absolutely colossal for her, but I think she is still at just 1 energy, so we'll pick up 2 energy cells if she's thorough along the way, but I'm not sure where that other one is, so she might be 1 energy short at the door. That'll be something to watch out for.
It was above Charge Flame Tree. It was the XP up there. We are told that Rue is actually 2 energy. I think looking at our restream feed, it's slightly obscured, but there is an empty energy counter right there. So if she does get those 2 energy cells, she will be good. But it does look like she's heading back down, skipping the Spider Water area, skipping the Spider Sack area. That's pretty common play when you visit via Death Gauntlet. You know, the Spider area can be pretty time-consuming, and it's a lot nicer to just not have to do it.
Yeah, one thing to note about that area as well is that there's a lot of pickups that are gated by having some superior way of going up, either Bash Grenade, Charge Jump, or, well, I guess just Bash is good enough, maybe Dash with a Rocket Jump, as well as some Grenade pickups there. So it can be tempting to put it off until you have one of those to get up higher. And we see both players doing a glitch in this bridge cutscene. The goal is to do how C had it done, where you get launched up and then are able to pick up the water vein. Cutie fell a little bit, but is able to climb cleverly up that wall, and I'll be able to check the same couple pickups up top of Grotto here before they drop into Grotto together.
And as it happens, both of these pickups are pretty useless, but that's all right, you know. Just want to get those checks out of the way. Every pickup has a pretty good chance of being something important, so you want to make sure that you don't miss any of them. Another keystone showing up along the way down here, and you know, now in this area with double jump, wall jump for C, dash, and of course Charge Flame, they have the ability to check kind of the majority of the pickups down here, and I do believe also the majority of them are in logic as well.
Yeah, that's right. C placed a save in a pretty telling position here. Yeah, up next to these rising and falling pillars. And this is to check one kind of annoying one-off pickup, although with these skills he can skip through these pillars quite quickly. When you do this with just double jump, it can be a little slow. So he's going to check this far left pickup, just an ability cell. And he's going to just reload the file to not have to traverse through that area again. We'll see if Rue checks it or not. She's been pretty thorough otherwise, so I imagine she might go over there, although being a little energy starved might opt not to.
Yeah, and without dash in hand too, it's a little bit nice to try to skip it if you can. And fortunately for her, if she does choose to skip it, it is unnecessary. But
That was a grenade showing up for C from the looks of things down
oh,
in
nice.
lower left grotto.
That will it will give him slightly more easy access to break plants and blue walls and stuff because he won't need to spend an energy for them. Grenade and randomizer being free cost, which is a change that was made primarily because of the bash grenade movement technique, but it's pretty nice for most situations, and so you're going to see make use of that maybe, or he might just use charge flame. Charge flame is good.
I think they have the explosion power upgrade, so Charge Flame is also free for them right now.
Oh, nice, perfect.
Now, C does not have 4 energy. Well, they do have 4 energy, but, they're down to 3 for now, so both players are going to end up skipping the vault in lower left grotto, which has 2 more pickups locked behind, but since it's pretty slow to go back in and out of there, going to leave it behind. C is going to get that 3rd map stone turned in now, acquires that ability cell from it. I don't think Cutie has found another one. What? That mini boss is dead now.
Yeah, the discarded grenade, I think, lying on. Oh no, it was just a spirit flame shot. But yeah, that was pretty good kill by Rue, and she manages to pick up a 4th map stone. So C, having checked 3 maps now, he has caught up on those, and Rue has also checked 3 and has access to check a 4th. So no differential there. They're checking the same pickups pretty much. I think Rue has not checked the energy cell above here just yet. No, she did. Okay, well. I don't know what I'm talking about then.
Who knows? People go places in orders. That's how it goes. So he's going to clean up the mini boss as well. Believe this was the mapstone, so we'll grab that as well. But he already turned in the grotto mapstone now, so can't put it in here. We'll have to head elsewhere to toss in mapstone number 4. And Kitty's just going to clean up all these pickups down towards the double jump tree. And from there, it'll be interesting to see what choice our runners make next. There's still the swamp loop nobody has been to. There's honestly, what else?
I think that's I mean that's once you're done with this section of grotto, you've gotten your double jump tree. You gotta think, okay, I got like the spider area, I've got valley entry, and like the right area, but around swamp and Ginso. And oh, hello there. Where's that bash?
I do believe that was Bash, given that we've already found Dash. I saw the Ash. And with Bash Grenade, now, well, we were wondering, oh, what could possibly be open? There's so little. Well, now that's not true anymore. Everything is open. You can do just about everything in the game with these skills if you're willing to manipulate some enemies to stomp for you when you don't have stomp yourself. But Cutie's first going to head towards the Death Gauntlet. Grab this pickup that's just to the right of spawn. It always hurts to leave one of these behind and be like, oh, that was Dash. Well, you could have had that immediately. And we'll now be clearing through the Death Gauntlet. And then where will she go from there? C having Dash already is just really nice in this case. What is he going to teleport for? Or is he going to hit the Black Root? Teleport to... Thinking about it.
This is a tough decision right now. There is so much just opened all at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. Looked like a BRB teleport. I'm not sure exactly where he's planning to go with this.
Yeah, this... it's a dash plant.
I do want to mention on Rue's side, as you'll see her making use of grenades, Rue is playing on controller, and grenade aim is not the most fun thing on controller. Hopefully it won't make too big of a difference, but it is kind of a pain.
C decided better than to go for the dash plant and is gonna head towards Hollow Grove instead. This could be a play back to the Spider Sack area or to Valley Entrance. Valley Entrance has a good 3, maybe 4 pickups that can be checked right away. And Rue is gonna now go for this far left grotto pickup, but just slips off the wall there. And back to the top of grotto, but looks like she's gonna drop down once again.
So he's gonna make a little bit of a play. He wanted to jump up that tree and then charge flame the plant from below, which is definitely possible. But he thought better of it, and he does have bash to access it from the top anyway, so it's no big deal. Needs to throw that grenade slightly further, and he gets XP for his troubles. This play is pretty good for a second reason, being that water vein is in valley somewhere. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up here for C, so not quite getting what he really wants here. Is he going to sequence break into left side of the map?
Could be. Does it reload to reset that Franki's position? So the options are the long swim, you see the water down below. C is not interested in that. C looks to be setting up this Frankie sequence break. Get the Frankie to stomp the post to open valley for him, and then we'll have access to a lot of stuff, including, basically every pickup in valley. Some of them more inconvenient than others, but we'll be able to get a lot of this stuff, and we'll be... Ooh!
Oh.
Tried to catch the Frankie at the peak of the jump there, but didn't quite do it. And Cutie will be checking the dash plan. It's just experience.
So that's that's not actually that costly of a check. So it is definitely one of the more annoying locations, and so getting it out of the way can be pretty good. C on his second attempt, unfortunately having the Frankie jump into the spikes, so he's gonna have to take another attempt here. Meanwhile, Rue not really making any overtures towards Valley whatsoever. So we're gonna see where her farming is gonna take her. I think farming at this point is probably the best play-ish. I guess it really depends on your level of confidence, right? But there's many things left to be found still, and there's a very, good chance of finding something like a charge jump or a climb over this way.
Yeah, I think I like the plays that each runner is making in their own shoes. Like, because Cutie is down just that one skill, looking around to try to find charge jump, bat, or bash already, stomp, dash, any of those things that help out seems pretty good. And I like the fact that C is just saying, well, I don't need stomp, I can just do this. Although, having a lot of trouble with this trick, this is kind of the downside of going for this kind of thing. Has the save in a good position now, but if you drop a lot of time on things like that can be just what Cutie needs to get back into it. And Cutie's going to be going for Swamp. With clean water, is able to swim in down here. And Swamp's got a lot of pickups.
Yeah, and Rue didn't want to be outdone when it came to sequence breaks, so she's making sure to throw one in of her own. Although I guess technically in standard logic, this is in sequence, right?
Yeah, it is. It feels a little obscure, but since it's just like make the spider shoot to the left, right, and then bash it straight up, then it's fair game as far as the randomizer is concerned. Just kind of funny because the upper swamp entry, which is actually in the speedrun, is not, because it's much more difficult than this. But Rue's going to be dropping into the water. C has gotten the Frankie on the peg, just has to bait it to jump. So he's going to jump up there, and now the Frankie is going to do all the hard work, open this door to Valley, and C will probably save right away and then start to explore this part of the map.
He's also gonna unthankfully throw the Frankie. He let it live. Unfortunately, then it shortly thereafter died, but whatever. All right, well, let's get some access to that. Basically, the entirety of Valley, as you mentioned, and with Bash in hand, these sections aren't even that dangerous. They are a little bit dangerous. There's a lot of things that deal a lot of damage here, but as far as being able to platform, there's nothing super crazy going on here. Now, without Stomp in hand and without Climb and Charge Jump, he isn't able to check the ability cell just that he passed just a moment ago, but he will be able to check some other pickups here. And Rue, for her part, has arrived at the Stomp Tree, claims 148 XP, and from the tree itself, just 58 XP.
Alright, gets that tree progress. That's up to 5 for Rue now, so one more will unlock another dungeon key clue. I want to point out on the right, C's going for Fast Stompless here, and notably did not take the ability cell that you normally pick up during Fast Stompless in speedrun. Now, ended up missing the shot actually, so was trying to, double things up, get them both at the same time. This was crazy to me until I remembered that he has bash or dash, so this actually is, it's not so hard to get to this thing without dash. It's quite difficult, but setting up for this shot, this is a kind of interesting trick. You're trying to hit a bunch of rocks that are sitting above the Big Bird Kuro's head in Valley with this spider shot, and in the meantime you go grab a pickup. It's looking maybe a little rough on this one, but it hits the shot, doesn't get the pickup, which could be really unfortunate given that we know the water vein is in Valley, but
I'm
find it
sure
later.
it's not the water veins.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's never been the water vein, not ever. Meanwhile, Rue is going for the swim and swamp that you mentioned earlier. There are 4 pickups down here, so this is not too bad, and she's able to level up in the blue tree all the way now to the improved soul link so that her saves only cost half an energy. And C, for his part, collecting his tree number 5 at Feather. Let's see where he decides to go from here. He's got Bash, but he doesn't have Glide, so that makes some of this section a little bit crappier. He wants to go back for that that cell.
Yeah. When you have a Water Vein clue in Valley, you know, leaving that one behind is just horrible. It's kind of terrible to get here. It's not really going to get any better. The only thing that could possibly make it better is something, whoa, like Stomp that Rue just found in the bottom of Swamp.
Wow. That's a good skill. Most people like that skill.
It's a powerful skill that's going to prevent Rue from having to do the sequence break that C went for. One thing that it will do is it'll put up a kill plane in Valley. Stomp in the game is kind of treated as the halfway point, and it triggers a whole bunch of like cutscenes and stuff to go with being halfway through the vanilla game. But not a big deal, because as soon as you break those rocks, which you can just do by stomping them if she wants, or you know, the same thing that C did, things will be safe again. So C is exploring through Valley, now jumping up to the top near Sorrow Pass, and might be making a play on Sorrow being up here, but Sorrow is really, really hard without Glide. Actually, he's just going to check this one pickup. He's a bird, at least.
So the interesting thing about this one pickup that he is checking is that this is actually not technically part of Valley. I mean, I know it really looks like it's part of Valley. Like, you can clearly see, here's Valley, here's this pickup, but it actually is considered by the game to be in Sorrow Pass. Unfortunately, not able to get the trick, and then he takes a death, and I think he might not have realized how much he had done since the last time he saved, but actually I think all those other pickups were garbage anyway, so not a big deal. And Rue, meanwhile, she's taking the much, much easier path to get into Valley here.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will note for SeaAverage is one of the hardest things in Rando is actually remembering all the applications of your skills. You can just toss up a grenade and bash off of it here instead of luring this bird, but you know, when you don't have grenade and you're in this situation, yeah, you have to lure the bird. And
Are you kidding me? That's the worst position I've ever seen for Glide, dude.
Well, I mean, it didn't make it far from the vanilla position. It was still in the same kind of general area. What the heck?
Oh, wow. So that is troll as heck. Like, if you could not do Glideless Sorrow, then when the heck are you gonna go to the Wilhelm XP, dude?
Oh my gosh, C must feel so good right now. Like, finding Dash in that 4 energy door, which Cutie still has not gone to, still doesn't even have 4 energy for that matter. And then, you know, going back to that pickup saying like, okay, you know, if this is something useful, that'll be big for me. And it's Glide. Cutie, I think, has a decent chance of picking up Glide, but wow, actually that really depends. She doesn't have Dash, so rocket jumping all the way back up there is way, you know, well, she can't even do it, so it's really inconvenient to get back up there.
Well, with Stomp, she is able to check the Bird Stomp cell that we usually refer to it as, and it's just an ability cell. So she's not really, you know, man, what do I want to say about this? Like, she hasn't really suffered the absence of Dash that crazily, except just that, you know, there have been little bits of time that C's been able to make up bit by bit, but like, you know, C did squander a fair bit of that lead that he had, just doing the bashless, the stompless entry into Valley. And unfortunately for Rue, you know, with that Glide pickup now, it's really a question of, is she even going to go up there? I think it's pretty accessible right now. If she doesn't try Stompless, she could collect this XP, but you also might just immediately stomp the rocks if you're Rue.
Oh, she is going to go over, use that bash. Well, maybe not use the bash. Oh, alright, we're going to lure a bird. Maybe? You're going to try the jump? You can do this with the triple jump. Double jump, not quite. Well, maybe if you damage boost.
I've actually never tried it with a damage boost double jump.
Oh! No! Oh.
That feel when.
So C did take a bit of a death in Misty there.
Oh my god,
We're
dude.
picking up charge jump and goes back and gets it. Wow.
Wow. So everything is gold for C right now. Like, nothing is going wrong for him. It's all showing up right in his path. With charge jump in hand, he can just jump straight into the climb tree. He's gonna get his second clue finally. Which one is it? Sunstones in Grove. So I think there's nothing left to hold him up except if excuse me, if the Sunstone is in the Butter Cell location, Sigma. I think that's like the only thing that could stop him.
Yeah, one thing to note is he does have to do a Frankie lure in Blackroot to get to Light Grenade, which is not the easiest trick, but if he's good with that, then he's able to access all the skill trees. And there's a far less common but much easier Frankie lure to get to the Butter Cell in Grove, but pretty much nobody ever does it because it's just this horrible location in general, and having to lure a Frankie for it makes it even more horrible. So we'll see what C goes for. I think maybe it's just some tree cleanup right now. Is teleporting to swamp. Maybe we'll be searching out. Actually, searching for the Sunstone off of Grove. He didn't find the water vein in Valley yet, right? So he can't go to Genso.
Correct. He might. Yeah, this has got to be farming, because either that or he's about to be very disappointed. I'm not sure which. Yeah, I think this is Sunstone Farm. I think that's his goal here. Maybe? Okay, it's the cell. He wanted the cell. Got it.
This cell is another one of the confusing ones. It's actually in Swamp, even though it's basically in Grove, you know? The borders are a little fuzzy between areas sometimes. He's gonna head towards the Genso tree. Actually has never been to the Stomp tree, so this could be that. And Rue is gonna find the water vein down on the path to Forlorn in the grenade launch spot. Fortunately, both players having grenade. That won't be a problem when C decides to go farm Valley for that pickup.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a position, which is, of course, kind of a negative for Rue more than it is for C. It's you know, it would have been nicer if it were in kind of a crappier location, so that would be harder for C to find it, but that one's going to be pretty quick, and so it's not going to give Rue much of like an opportunity to kind of take advantage of that. She is going to go to Ginso next, so she will be able to finish that off sooner. But oh, and also she has approximately 8 million Keystones, Sigma, so I think she's going to be okay on that.
I actually realized something just now that's really important, and maybe kind of an insight into what C's doing, is getting down to Lower Valley with his skills requires an extremely difficult frog lure because he can't break that floor in any way, as well as he might be worried about the Bird Stomp cell heading up through Valley that he had to skip. He didn't have Stomp, he didn't have Climb Charge Jump, so either of those skills will make C, you know, not have to do these completely god-awful lures to finish the game. And you know, C knows that the thing he did to get over to the left side during that Frankie is not required by standard logic, so he's not going to find Stomp past that. He knows Stomp is over on the right side of the map somewhere, most likely. So looking here for Stomp will definitely pay off if he does this swim, but when you're this deep into a seed, this swim is a big time investment. It's going to be really interesting to see if he goes down or not. And he is going into the water, but just to get this fish for now.
He wants to check that energy cell, which unfortunately is, well, we know it's not Stomp. We don't know if it's anything else, but it's not Stomp. It's an energy cell, vanilla. So that's not going to do it for him, but we'll see. I mean, he came in here, but at the same time, as you mentioned, not only the time-consuming aspect, but just like it's very uncommon for those things down there to have progression. So it is very tempting to just say, I don't need to do this. Having a little bit of trouble on his double bashes here on that frog and fish. Okay, not everything's a frog, dude. But he is able to get up, and he will get to the Stomp tree, and then we're going to kind of have our moment of truth for him.
Yeah, it's definitely not, you know, lights out for this swamp exploration. Oh my
well,
god! It's Climb.
I mean, that's it. Like, he's good. He's in go mode as far as skills are concerned.
That's so big. He can use that to break down into the lower area of Blackroot to get to Light Grenade. He can use that to break down into the Water Vein location. The only thing that he can't do with it is get to that one cell in the middle of Grove, which requires a Stomp Peg. But as mentioned, there is a Frunky lure now. Question is, do you know about that one or not? C would probably just search the rest of Grove first, though. That's by far the more sensible player, rather than say, "Oh, it might be that one. I need Stomp."
Yeah, there's no way that that you would even know that lore, because like I didn't even know it was possible. Like, I've never seen anyone do it. I didn't know it was possible until I was trying to redo the logic for that area. So it's just very unlikely that that C actually knows that that's a thing. I'm sure he could guess for for sure that it exists, but as for actually knowing it, just really unlikely. But I would be very interested to see if he could like come up with that as a strat. That would be very, very impressive. Again, also very unlikely. It's a race. It's not very often that you just be like, let me just invent a new strat right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you definitely like did the much more difficult we were in the valley, but as you say, it's a knowledge thing, not like an execution thing, pretty much. So how are we doing on trees here? C is about to be picking up the light grenade tree, which is just going to leave finding the water vein, getting bash, and getting to the charge jump tree. Charge jump won't be that bad because he has glide, as well as finding the sunstone. Rue, on the other hand, does not have climb, charge jump, grenade. We'll be getting bash very soon.
Yeah, so we'll take stock on those the skills that Rue is missing. Dash would have come from the 4 energy door in the spider sack area, which she has never gone near there, but soon. Sorry, she already has collected her 6th tree, so she has the clue that Sunstone's in Grove. So there's a very good chance she will get Dash before the end of the seed, but unfortunately not, in time to get a lot of advantage from it. Glide coming from the Wilhelm XP in the top left of Valley, which is a really troll location given that it's right next to where you need it to even get into Sorrow. And then she's also missing Charge Jump, which comes from Misty, and she'll be getting to Misty before too long, but whether she's in, skip pickups mode by that point is the question.
Yeah. Rue manages to pick up the single 1 experience from next to the bash tree there, and is going to continue on. This makes sense because Glide has all kinds of chances of being in upper Ginso, according to the things Rue knows about this seed, which is not where Glide is, but it's going to find a Glide's companion, Wind Restore, that does not do any good without the skill itself. And C is searching Grove as he passes through, just looking for that Sunstone. Isn't able to find it, and I like the fact that he's giving up on the Grove search right now, because Grove does include the area up to the final dungeon, and if it's there, you might as well just get it when you're going to the final dungeon anyways.
Meanwhile, he is going to head a little bit back to Valley, and he's going to do the long swim to see if his water vein is located there, and then we happen to know that it's not, but SeaAverage has no idea. He's okay. He's going to skip it for now. He will go do other stuff. Unfortunately, he didn't open that lever door at the bottom of Valley that would have allowed him to go straight into that forlorn approach area. Meanwhile, Rue completes her keystone check at the top of Ginso. She's going to go ahead and peace out. So, not going any further than that, which seems pretty reasonable from her perspective. And hopefully, soon she'll kind of get back to the valley area, get to that tree farm, and then get herself going.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is going to be if Rue manages to find Glide, or if not, how glideless Sorrow goes, because that area is just completely horrible. And looks like, I think C is going to head up to Sorrow here, just get that tree out of the way, and then probably head to the Valley Teleporter. I kind of like this sort of overlapping route, I guess you could say, from what C's doing, because it's kind of like I search for the Sunstone a bit, and then I'm in a good position to switch over to Valley, so I switch over to Valley, search for the Water Vein a bit, okay, not there, but I still have access to Sorrow to take care of, so let's do that now. And is setting up for a pretty difficult sequence break known as Sorrow Bash to get in here without having Wind Restored. This is just, bird manipulation, basically, to trick your way through these spikes. Has some health, so has some forgiveness here, and now has the birds following nicely, is able to get into the corner. Ooh, Cade did not bash the bird into the spikes, very nice, and is into Sorrow now. Good job.
Meanwhile, Rue did manage to acquire Dash finally. Getting that clue to the Grove Sunstone definitely was a very solid lure to send her in that direction. And, she'll also claim that Swamp Teleporter. I'm not sure if she manually got the Swamp Teleporter already, but if not, there it is. And see, showing us how quick Sorrow can be. Kind of glide or no, you can make this area pretty fast. It's just this one section here, this Spike Cave, that really sucks if you don't have glide. You need to make use of a lot of damage boosts, some charge jump, charge dashes, etc. But for C, having glide in his possession, very, very straightforward. So he will be able to get to the charge jump tree. That will be tree 9. We can find out where the Gumon seal, the key that we don't care about, is located. And then we're going to see him either, wrap up that water vein search or go for the sunstone first.
Yeah, so Grove Sunstone, we've seen a lot of Grove get checked, so the Horu Fields approach to Mount Horu seems to be maybe the last place that it's available. There's, I guess, a couple more here and there. But C's going to head out of Suro manually, and this will just kick off the Valley search. Just go top down through Valley, check everything that's here, and I don't think it'll take C long to find it. It's kind of just on the path of the dense pickups, basically. Although, there is that Valley swim that he opened and left behind, and I don't imagine he would go there first. He's probably going to check down to Forlorn since there's just so much more stuff that way.
We're trying to get up here to this grenade pickup, which is actually a little bit more annoying than you might think. You need a little bit more height than just like a single bash, and like some triple jumps will get you. But now she makes it up there. Gonna do a nice little, I love this trick, a little bit of a precise grenade throw right under that overhang to get the grenade to light the lantern. And there is the Sunstone at that energy cell location. So Rue has got her keys. All she needs to do is finish trees.
Yeah, so that's a grenade, charge jump, and climb. Mostly left side trees. It's gonna put off grenade for now. And unless this is a teleport to Black. No, it's Valley. So get the charge flame burn. Why not? And get in split flame. Why not? Yeah, all right, we're ready to destroy things with spear flame now. So Rue, good on keys. Looks like going to Misty Woods now. Doesn't have glide, which actually was really annoying right there, but with dash, she can rocket jump up off this frog and tries it, but hits the frog. There we go.
Meanwhile, C's throwing the grenade that is going to get him the water veins. So, I mean, you know, barring anything crazy here, it is C's race to lose. He's got a pretty substantial advantage here. What Rue really needs is for an incredibly clean featherless Sorrow to happen, or for her to literally be lined directly to Feather on her way in. It is rough because she was about to... oh wow, did C just take like a ridiculous death?
It was pretty bad.
Oh man. I mean, Rue could use some of those from C. Like, that's one of the things that she's really going to need to be able to make up this deficit right now.
Yeah, but C still on the right track. Has the water vein opened up again now? Just ended up eating a Baneling to the face, which hurts. This time gonna probably be a little more careful with it. Yeah, just catch it, bashed over. There you go.
There it is. Water vein for C. That is complete go mode for him. He just needs to get his bash tree and finish up. And I mean, Ginso does take some time, so if Rue's able to do the rest of this pretty quickly, you know, she can at least be pretty close behind, but we're talking probably a couple minutes or something here. So yeah, she's still going to be hoping for some help from C, basically. And unfortunately, since she's pretty close to go mode, she did skip the charge jump location, so she's not going to have access to that.
Yeah, and this can be a play on the logic as well. Standard logic requires that you have glide and Misty, because it's kind of intended that you get glide and then use it to navigate through all these spikes in the vanilla game. So she may know that there is no chance of glide appearing here in this seed, which could mean she might check that pickup just before Suro. But, you know, it is manageable to do Suro with these skills. It's just horrible, I guess you could say.
Yeah, especially without charge jump. Charge jump makes it a lot easier to do a couple different spots in Saro. You can use it to perform the Terra Break glitch, which will allow you to break one of the ceilings a little bit more easily. You can do a different trick with a bash and rocket jump, of course. So that's not a huge deal. Charge jump also makes the spike cave a bit easier. You can substitute bash and grenade, but not, again, the easiest thing in the world. So she's going to do grenade first, grenade tree that is, kind of hoping that maybe, you know, she'll get lucky and glide is just right here on the tree, but unfortunately not the case.
Yeah. You know, I want to note something funny about this seed as we're just kind of watching people collect trees for the time being. Both Sunstone and Water Vein were stuck behind grenade doors. Oh, no.
We're going to get some lore, dude.
Cutieroo is out of ability points, cannot skip this cutscene with a straight rekindle. You need to save anywhere an ability point to do it. So is just gonna have to watch it. This is 80 seconds of time loss she could ill afford right now.
Yeah, so actually I do want to briefly cover exactly what happened there, because this is a common glitch, and hopefully we talk about it, someone will be able to learn basically what the deal is that happened there. So when she opened up the ability menu, the cursor was still on the last place that she was, and then she pressed the A button immediately, and that unfortunately caused it to learn ability. Now this can happen on keyboard and mouse as well. If you have a bind that does the proceed action, it will also default to your last cursor location. So if you don't make sure to mouse over the the center orb there, the hub orb, before you press that proceed bind, you will get the same exact thing that will happen. Unfortunately, that caused her to accidentally learn an ability, which took away her last points and prevented her from skipping that cutscene. So just pay close attention when you're using the menu in this game. Sometimes it can be a little bit rough.
All right, so now C is going to be going on a little bit of a journey, because remembering which grove pickups you've cleared an hour into a seed is not easy. So the bulk of grove pickups are here in Horu Fields. Unfortunately, the Sunstone is not among them. It's the grenade pickup at the top of the Spider Lake. And C will be checking all of these, and then hopefully quickly realizing that, oh, there are a couple left. Well, he probably knows that there's a couple left. There's things like that, Kuro water stomp cell, whatever you want to call it, the butter cell, and the place that the Sunstone actually is. But first, going to be checking all these.
Oh god, that's a baneling. Yeah, just
Yikes.
get him out of the way. All right, Rue is sending Wilhelm for a ride, and here's the question.
She's so close to Glide.
Nope, she's not
get
checking it.
All right.
Oh, jeez, Sigma.
I can't fault this decision. I mean, the chance that Glide is there is very, very low. So, just saying, well, I've got a lot of health. Let's do Soro. You can actually just triple jump up this thing, but it's just horrible. So she's, gonna go for a bird manipulation if possible. And then eating Soro Pass itself it's a struggle, but it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing for Rue here is C taking this extra time to farm a few additional things. There's a chance that that Rue can get back into this if she's able to quickly get into Sorrow, and then do it. It would be a rocket jump to break the first barrier, and then just a lot of charge jumping and damage to get through Spike Cave. Oh god! Okay. Well, she got through the first part. Oh, but C's heading pretty much directly for exactly where the Sunstone is, so it's a very small chance, but maybe C will die like 4 more times or something.
Yeah, C even has better skills for the final escape, so should be set on that. I don't know if that shot will break it for Cutieroo. She fell a little bit away from the roof. These frog shots are pretty weird. They'll kind of set their max height to wherever you are if you're too far above them at the time that they shoot. So if you want to do this without Feather, you kind of have to double jump a bit right after, and C's gonna grab the Sunstone there, alt R's, and is gonna teleport, even though well, this is impossible to realize when you're just kind of go, but he could have just turned around and ran up the Horu.
Oh, that was a close shot for Rue, but unfortunately not quite. This is very difficult without having, you guessed it, Glide.
Yeah, having quad jump helps because you can just mash the crap out of the jump button once you're on the roof to make the shot stay high enough. But also, kind of have to use a jump to set up, and nice, that one gets it. So Cutieroo will now be able to head up to the top, and I'd say this is the hard part though, getting through these spikes without the Glide. She has a lot of health, she has quad jump, it's doable. It's just gonna hurt.
Yep, you're seeing the damage boost getting well underway. She gets caught on that wall there. That's where you really want to have charge jump. And guess what she doesn't have? Because, when she got to Misty, it was like, well, Glide can't be here, so I don't really need to check anything, and that's just the reality, unfortunately.
Yeah, she does have Bash Grenade. The way to do this would be to throw 2 grenades up at the beginning, and then use those to have height to get over that first wall, and after that it's a little bit easier. But it looks like Rue's actually going to drop down and look for a few more pickups just in the heat of the moment, realizing, oh man, maybe I can't do this. Just forget about that grenade momentarily and say, I can't get the height over this, and it's going to check some stuff. Now, Glide won't be in Sorrow. Charge Jump could. So, unfortunately it's not, but Rue's going to take a look over at left Sorrow from the looks of things. Or, this could also be a play on the Tumbleweed, using a repeated double bash chain on that. Can't get her in. C is gonna do some safe drop action into the mini boss here.
He had 2 rough attempts on door warp, and I think he said, no, that's enough. I'm just going to take. This is around a 20-second time loss if done pretty well, and it's really not that big a deal in the overall scheme of an over 1 hour randomizer seed. Managing to get through the mini boss, and now he's down without having to take, I don't know, 8 or more attempts at that door warp. So C will be beginning the final escape very, very shortly, and again, barring anything catastrophic, he will be able to walk away with the victory. It's going to put him at 1-1, as long as he doesn't have, I don't know, 15 minutes of getting infinited here.
Yeah, only missing Stomp. I expect that C will be able to pull off this escape first try. Cutieroo still checking stuff in left Zoro. These next keystones are incredibly difficult to check with Glide, or without Glide rather, because there's lasers and spikes and oh my. But we'll see what she opts to do. Might just check this bottom one and then go for the tumbleweed. There's the Gumon seal.
Oh, beautiful. C navigating the lava pillar well, and this is a very similar escape to All Skills, which of course SeaAverage has run before, so he's got some experience in that. He's gonna head into the water, which is clean, so he doesn't even have to worry about the fact that he's only got 7 HP. That is like infinitely more than he needs. One last jump to skip that Kuro trigger, and we can even see a grenade jump here soon.
Yeah, if C wants to go for it, he could. Bashes into the wall. I think this one is okay, but it's a little spooky to set up your grenade jumps on a bash or dash into the wall, because it slightly changes your X position and can make the setup unreliable. But now C is safe. Just basically has to get these inputs, nails it. That'll skip half of the final cutscene, and C just has to hold right for the win. GG.
GG to C. He's gonna move to 1-1 as previously mentioned, and Rue will unfortunately drop to 0-2. But I don't think she can be super disappointed about her performance today. I think the positions of certain pickups, like the fact that Dash was in that energy door that bit C in his previous race, just meant there was like a 100% chance he was going to check it. And in any other seed, it could have been absolutely nothing. But in this one, it was Dash.
Yeah, that really kicked things off, and then just kind of the situations C got into, not having Stomp and wanting to check a couple more things here and there, and finding Charge Jump and Glide for it just really helped a lot. Like, I think if Rue had found Glide, they would have been on the final escape together, but just because it's insane to do Soro without it, C was able to pull way ahead. And you see Rue, like, trying to deal with this frog to get through this section. Just looking for anything, like Charge Jump could be here. Well, I mean, we know it isn't, but she knows it could be.
I do want to... Okay, she's going to Altar out of here and regroup, possibly look for another skill, although unfortunately that's going to be a very rough search, as Climb is... God, which pickup was Climb? Was that...
It was the experience to the right of the Stomp tree, up above, that you kind of need Charge Jump for.
Yeah, that's right. I do want to come back a little bit to Sara Pass for Rue. So when she was in the Spike Cave, there were a couple comments, both from our truck and also just from chat in general, about well, she has Bash Grenade, and you can use those much the same way that you can use Charge Jump to get height in the Spike Cave. And the thing I want to mention again is that Rue is on controller, and that doesn't mean it's impossible to use Bash Grenade. Of course, it is. It's there. There's controllers for it, and you have seen Rue use Bash Grenade in other situations. But the thing about being on a controller that makes it different is there's just a different mindset about what tools are in your arsenal. Because Bash Grenade is much more inconvenient to use, it's a lot less likely that you're going to think of it as like your first, second, or even third thing to make use of. You're pretty much going to think of, some pickups will be in your mind as, oh, this is a Bash Grenade pickup. I will use Bash Grenade to reach this. But you won't necessarily just think of it as like, oh, I can get height with this pretty much anywhere. And so I'm guessing that's kind of what happened to Rue is basically, that she got there, and it's not really a tool that's like at the forefront of her arsenal there. So unfortunately, she wasn't able to make use of it.
Yeah, and also to note, it only helps at the beginning to get over that first wall. You can't throw grenades off of spikes that are can't make bashable grenades appear when you're on spikes. They just explode instantly for some reason. So, you know, it's only good at the start, so that's another thing that can push away from your mind. I should note, there's another, I guess, semi-obscure way of doing that. If you go all the way back down to the bottom of Sorrow and rocket jump up off of a frog to bonk yourself into the roof up top, then you can use that as your height to get over the start, but that one is really hard to think of because you have to do it from like 4 screens away to begin with.
We do finally get this Death Gauntlet check. This one we have not seen yet. Unfortunately, it's just 130 XP, and Rue throws that grenade, but she's actually already checked that grenade location. We have seen this energy door checked by C, in fact, very, very early in the seed, and unfortunately, it was also nothing, so what Rue really needs right now, because we know charge jumps all the way in Misty, climb without charge jump is not going to really help her. Glide is at the Wilhelm XP. She pretty much just needs the Sorrow Teleporter to show up.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, the Sorrow Teleporter is not nearly so constrained as these other skills. There's nothing stopping it from being at the top of Sorrow.
Yeah, there's nothing in logic that says that you need to have the Sorrow Teleporter in order to go to Sorrow. It can absolutely show up in Sorrow. It might just be one of those pickups in there. So rough time if that's the case for Rue, because she's not going to get really any relief here. But we'll see. We have not seen these redirect pickups checked yet, and it's just an ability saw on XP. So, bleh.
Yeah. So this is tough. This is like kind of the nightmare scenario in Rando. You have access to almost everything. Try to find something. Like, oh man. And as you said, the charge jump and glide, the two most useful things for her right now, are in the places she's probably the least likely to go back to.
Well, we might be, speaking of least likely places, we might be heading to Lost Grove. And, I don't have much else to say about that, Sigma.
There's a lot of pickups here, but you almost never see people go here until you're this desperate and like this late into a seed because, man, there's no skill trees. There's lots of like cutscenes. It's a long way down. It's gated by a lot of skills. It's just, ugh. I could express it as ugh.
Yeah, it's a lot more common in shards, at least, to come down this far to this is called Lower Blackroot, and then the next area down the way is going to be Lost Grove, and even in shards, no one's going to Lost Grove, but it is very nice. Okay, so what might not be obvious while Rue was doing that little sequence break there is those spikes up around that little top area are instant kill. They're not like, oh, a lot of damage. They are infinite damage. You die to them. So doing that with bash grenades a little bit brave. It is very possible to have bad things happen there.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we'll keep an eye on Cutieroo's exploration of Lost Grove, definitely for that Sorrow Teleporter. But we have our winner for this race, SeaAverage, joining us here. GG, man.
Yo, thanks. That was fun.
Yeah. See, I want to really ask you. I gotta ask this. The first question. This immediately comes to mind. That energy door in Spider Sack. Were you just like from the beginning of the seed? Were you just like thinking, I'm going for that stupid energy door?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I got Mega Energy, I'm like, yep, opening that door, 100%. And I was so glad to see double jump before I even opened that door, because boy, was I not looking forward to another verticality lacking seed.
You definitely did not get that. You picked up every last bit of verticality. You got all your bash grenade, your charge jump coming from the middle of Misty, and glide coming from the Wilhelm XP. A lot of very kind of troll positions for things here. How did you feel about your overall routing of the seed and kind of how you went to things? I mean, obviously you did pick up those things from those weird locations, but like, did you feel like you were maybe overly checking anything like that, or did you feel like it was a good balance?
So there was definitely some bits where I was like that I was probably over checking, and there was some routing shenanigans where I'd like just instinctively alt R after getting a pickup and then be like, oh, I need to go right back to where I just was. So that's cool. But overall, I think a lot of my routing was probably okay. I probably should have found Sunstone earlier than I did. But I was kind of hoping that I would find it on the way to Horu rather than, having to go through the spider or I guess sort of spider sack area again and then go up there. So, but overall, I think it went well.
I want to ask you, were there any moments or particular pickups in the race when you felt like you were either going to be way ahead or way behind, like finding, I guess the big ones are Dash and Glide, for example. Did you feel like really good when you picked those up?
Yeah, so Dash I felt pretty good about because I did use a Mega Energy to open that door. So obviously that was a sequence break. And Glide, that was just a stupid pickup that I very much sequence broke to get to. So both of those were definitely nice, and I felt good about finding them. But then when I was digging for the Water Vein and Sunstone, I was like, crap, okay, there's no way. Like, I need to find these. But I guess it worked out.
Actually, we got a question suggested from the truck, which I totally forgot about. But when you went to check the Wilhelm XP in the top left of Valley, you of course had the Water Vein Valley clue. But I'm curious, did you realize that the Wilhelm XP is technically in Sorrow Pass?
No. I know. So
Okay.
I knew that some of those pickups, like around where Kuro sits, was considered Valley, and some of them not. But I wasn't sure which, so I was like, I'm gonna check all of them and hope I find it, because I really didn't want it to be like facts or anything like that. I was just hoping I'd be able to get it with the skills I had, and not need to find charge jump and climb, which I found anyway. But
Yeah, well, just to set the record straight on those so you don't get burned by a Sorrow clue, the one by Wilhelm is in Sorrow, and also the one where Crow's sitting is in Sorrow, because this game has an interesting definition of areas.
great. Yeah, and then that's kind of also what happened with the Sunstone clue. I thought maybe where I found it was considered what, I don't even remember what the clue was now.
It was Grove.
Grove, yeah. I thought that spot might be considered Grove, but I wasn't really sure if it was Grove or Swamp, and I knew the road to Horu was Grove, so I checked there first, and it didn't work out as well.
I mean, I like that play because there was still, I think most of the Grove pickups were there, and it's just so cool when you get to find the Sunstone on your way to Horu.
Yeah.
So we'll throw in the quick update here that Rude did opt to forfeit. Her comment in the race chat was just it might take a long time to find charge jumper and teleporter, so I'll just call it a day. So GG to both runners, of course, and also to Rue for I mean, honestly, a really good performance up until just that's like the worst glide location that I've ever seen, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that was dumb because you'd have to find. Well, shoot, charge jump was in Misty, right? So, yeah, that would have been brutal.
I think the logical access to it was a bash grenade chain.
Okay.
Which is kind of awful in its own right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I could have done that instead of the double bash chain.
So see, I do want to just, looking forward, going to 1-1. You took a rough loss to Marlin, kind of getting just really wrecked by like one specific location. And then in this seed, of course, you managed to nail all the correct locations, and you just, were off to the races and managed to come away with a win. How is your confidence going into, next week and your upcoming matches, and just how's your confidence with the randomizer kind of in general?
I'm getting more confident. I think, hour and 4. So that was pretty fast seed for me. I never really completed one under an hour, so it's getting better. But Wilson is 1-1, and Hydra's 0-2, and nowhere is safe right now. So it's just, I feel good about the randomizer, not as great about who I might have to face in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, Oshi's going to be 1-1 after this round as well, so that's any last thoughts, Sigma?
I just want to say GG once again. That was well played, and that made that 4 energy door always pay off for you.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh man. Well, thank you for joining us, C. Much appreciated, and congrats again. And thanks for Rue for racing today and putting on a really good show. I would have liked to see both runners not get wrecked by one dumb location, but unfortunately that's randomizer. Sometimes you really can't avoid that. In the meantime, what have we got coming up next? I believe we have another race in 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Speed Gaming 4 is going to have Infinite versus Dr. 2N showing up for another singles race, and if you're hungry for Ori Rando, there is approximately 1 million matches today spread across Speed Gaming channels. I think we've got SG4 for quite a while, so tune into that. Maybe drop that Ori command in chat. Somebody already did, so you can see the schedule on there, but we will be back in about 40 minutes with another match. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
See you soon.